Interestingly, the artist Rodel Tapaya uses the word looban to refer to the slums, a place we associate with marginalization. It's the social, political, and economic experience of exclusion. It is this theme that Tapaya explores in Urban Labyrinth, an exhibit of his recent works held at the Ayala Museum.
Life in the Labyrinth. As we step back and ponder the exhibition, Tapaya's deep interest in his subject matter resounds. It is partly autobiographical, the artist revisiting and reimagining a world he witnessed firsthand. Art as a compass to help us navigate the social and political labyrinths in our midst and perhaps find our way out.
The thread that ties Osorio's works together is the assertion of the abstract into the incarnate world, which his art cautiously warns can serve as the agent of death in it. Indeed, between the dusk of World War II and the advent of the Cold War, the context of Osorio's art is a clash of civilizations, a war between gods.
Pasita Abad, a million times, a woman, an artist. What is your ideal working space? The interviewer asks. She makes whatever space she finds work. Sometimes her mother and sister help her sew. Then comes the question about the life cycle of the woman. When are you going to have children? Have you thought of motherhood? Isn't that important to a woman too? We come to a realization that perhaps women of Pasita's generation, like the interviewer, were tied to notions of femininity and what it means to be a woman.
Pasita Abad has a million things to say. The exhibit examines her art parallel to her various identities, as an intrepid explorer, a woman of color, a social activist, and so much more. Yet not even the entirety of her 5,000-piece body of work can begin to scratch the surface of her being. Because for the million things Pasita Abad wanted to say, there are just as many things Pasita Abad was and wanted to be.
Bred in circuses in a time of royally churning. It was the 80s, after all. If your poster wasn't neon bright, clean and shiny as a handful of hard candy, how could you tell people this was a happy movie? Every lyric of the party crowd, depressed, anxious, scared, everywhere you hidden away when the dance hall lights came on, the circus finally opened, the bread handed out. Because it was, after all, the 80s. When Reagan said he'd rather we had a dictator here than have us go to the communists. When discontent and criticism were responded to with truncheons and tear gas. When things were terrible for many, happy for some.
Ang pagtatanghal at pagiging bahagi ni Vic De Lotavo sa UP Vargas Museum ay tulad ng Dada Movement na hinahamon ang tradisyonal na pag-unawa ng madla sa sining. Matatawag na wala ito sa lugar o hindi ito bagay na itanghal sa isang tanyag na museo. Ngunit kung sisikapin nating magsaliksik ng iba't ibang anyo ng sining at palayain ang mga sarili sa kinagisnang limitadong pag-unawa at pag-iisip, mabubuksan ang iba't ibang konsepto at pag-unawa na maaaring magpalawak ng ating kaalaman.
So yung discovery ko po of a material which is plastic was siguro laro lang, parang sinunog ko na yung plastic, which is this. And then parang siguro coming from that perspective na nung time na yun, parang gusto ko yung mga nasisirang bagay, yung mga distress. Because maybe nakaka-relate ako, nakikita ko yung self ko doon. And then how I could see life after that. Parang nakikita kong buhay siya kasi may pinagdaanan siya. So from this work na plastic, and then sa process ng printmaking, transfer of image. So ito yung ining ko, and then ito po yung print.
I'm very fascinated with the kind of mechanism of memory and how it works and how it affects our experience and our reality. So the exhibition that I showed in the most recent January is a show called Memento of the Spirit. It's Latin for remember and forget. And the show came out of some research that I did around memory. At the time that I was working on these pieces, I was doing research into the mechanism of memory, how it works and how it affects our experiences. And so through discovering these ways in which our memories can be manipulated, it really asked me to kind of ponder the question about how vulnerable our memories are and how malleable and how really susceptible they are.
Ang exhibition ko na to ay patungkol po sa araw-araw na buhay ng mga tao sa isla ng Talim Island sa Laguna de Bay. I decided to represent those personal experiences and observation tungkol dun sa isla. Kung mapansin niyo po, yung mga materials na ginamit ko is very organic. Yung charcoal po is made from coconut husk, which is yung business po ng tao sa amin and ng family ko. Pinili ko lang yung sarili ko nung bumalik ako sa isla kasi parang artist residence yung nangyari sa akin. Kasi pumunta po ako dun, sarili ko lang yung dala ko, wala akong art materials. Sobrang fulfilling kasi feeling ko habang ginagawa ko yung artworks, nakakapag-create ako ng conversation and dialogue sa mga taong after how many years na balikan ko.
I concentrated on the idea of domesticity, and at the same time, I wanted it to spread into different themes as well. Parang nagko-contemplate lang ako with this show kung ano yung purpose ng art at these times and the purpose of artists as people, as individuals.
This is my 5th solo exhibit. Concept ko is about my observation on how people adapt on the changes that's happening in their lives. Using substitutes for survival, parang hanap ng mix of fulfillment, using what is available for the time being, paghanap ng wholeness for the time being, for no matter what the cost.
I think viruses are very profound little things. And I think there's a lot of things we don't understand about them, not just in the scientific sense, but I believe in questions about coping with existentialism, looking at how similar the biological virus is with the computer virus. So I set out to make like a perfect man-made virus. I wanted to make a computer virus that would be in equilibrium within its ecosystem. In this case, chaos is the improper transmission of data.
It was site interventions inside CCP. CCP main building, also outside, just the whole idea of the show. Also, I utilized unusual spaces in CCP. Basically, the works are dictated by the spaces, so that's the whole gist of the show. Because the show were scattered around CCP, there were tours. I created AI chatbot that can guide you about the show.
Dogs. It's just something to tie them all up. It's something as simple as having like a dog in every painting. The word dog and God. You're playing around with the concept of religion. It's in everyday life, so we should acknowledge the part of religion in art. Try to tackle the difficult topics and present it in like a way that it's sterilized.
A lot of people don't know the hard work behind a show, but there are a lot of moments when you just stare blankly inside the studio and appreciate the materials for their aesthetic quality. So this is also something that I meant to translate in the exhibition. I just use the patterns as a take-off point for the aesthetic decisions that I made for the whole exhibition. So if you notice, the works are also arranged in a horizontal manner, also to hark back creating ambience of meditative space or Something that is very rare during our digital age. Na we're always confronted by things that come and go, and we slowly lose a part of our humanity.
Ang subject niya is about Tondo area. Kaya Tondo kasi, unang-una, doon ako pinanganak, lahat, everything, doon ako gumaduate hanggang sa ano. Kumbaga, ito yung simula ng solo show ko, first solo show. Kaya kumbaga, bumalik din ako saan ako nagsimula. Actually, it's a glitch because it's represent the Tondo, the characteristic of Tondo, na hindi siya formal, informal siya, ganun. Black and white, that's my style. Nagpapakita ng transparency. Pag nakita niyo siya as a whole, parang pantay lang din yung pagtingin niyo sa kanila. Yung bawat painting dito, masyado siyang memorable sa akin, kaya yun yung mga napili kong image.
These works are actually a development of my second solo exhibition last year. It's all collages of sculptures that I deconstructed and na parang naging a new arrangement siya or a new system, forming a new whole. I found this catalog of MoMA, a retrospective exhibition of sculptures. And then I started doing collages of sculptures. I wanted to expand the horizon of sculptures. Gusto ko mas marami akong magupit. Doon ko na-realize na maybe what I am doing is I'm trying to cut up objects of history. And I try to look into the past. So the pieces I produced for this show, this is the first time I'm using different materials because it's always collage that I do. I realized that what I am doing, something like an archaeological duty to remember.
Nag-start siya from this feeling of emotional and existential fatigue. What I'm trying to do is at least try to break that routine from making artworks from broken pieces of glass. Yung nilalagay ko na meaning doon sa trabaho is yung irony na paano natin bibigyan ng chance yung mga broken pieces na nangyayari sa atin everyday. Paano nagkakaroon ng chance yung everyday na challenges natin para bukas gawin uli natin. Yung work ko na What's Left of It, bawat isang trabaho ay nanggaling sa basag na bubog.